What is up, everybody? I'm going after Uber Lilith again for the second time. Actually, did all this yesterday. Spent about 9 hours going through it and figuring all the mechanics out. Had ran into a couple different things. A big bug, actually, right off the bat. Uh, well, I should say at the end of it, killing Lilith in phase two. I don't know if it's a bug that anybody else has talked about. I'm sure they have, but I ran into it where she became essentially invincible, could not die at zero health. Um, and there's a pretty easy workaround for it. I just didn't know of it until late, so that added a couple extra hours. But I'm gonna go over my gear, just kind of show it's very average gear, basic stuff, not a perfect build in any way. Kind of a mix, mix between some of the build guides between like max roll and D4 builds. Um, just kind of going to go over that real quick, and then hopefully we'll get her knocked out of here within a few tries, hopefully pretty quick. And I'm going to basically redo everything that I did yesterday and do it now, and hopefully it'll save and I can, share it with you guys. So, just to start off, gear-wise, starting off level of 100, you can see my attack power is 15,000, 555. Kind of see it here. Armor's pretty low at 66, 11,000 life. Very basic stuff. Deathless Visage. Um, Pretty crappy rolls overall, aside from like physical damage, critical strike damage. But anybody can find this. Uh, it's even a low roll on the maximum essence at 17 out of 20. Um, Armor. Again, this I just kind of threw it all together. Very average stuff that I just hoped it would work, and eventually it did. Um, and you can kind of see it there. I got total armor, max life, damage reduction from distant enemies, and a little bit extra damage there with disobedience on it. Um, Gloves kind of went back and forth between a set that I had before and then these. Just the ones that I was trying to do, I was struggling with essence, running out real quick, and I still do pretty much. So using exposed flesh on my ring, um, that it didn't seem to ever proc. So I wanted to get a little more lucky hit based because it is a lucky hit aspect. So yeah, added a little bit of lucky hit going with my gloves. Low, I've got 3 ranks of Bone Spear on there, a little bit of critical strike chance, using splintering. I'm actually using temerities. I don't think I've ever seen anybody else use temerities while they're beating or trying to kill Uber Lilith, and this worked. Reason I used them, I do have better pants. I use these just because I like the fact I can pop a barrier, and that actually plays in with one of the other aspects that I have equipped. Boots, I kind of messed with these two. Kept movement speed. I have a deadline there for movement speed after killing an elite, which doesn't apply to Lilith at all. But I kept it because I had already pre-rolled to get a little more intelligence on them to try to up the damage. And then essence cost reduction. Thought that'd be helpful because I was struggling so much with my resources. And then Wind Striker on there just to try to keep movement speed up. Sword, nothing special. It's the only thing good about this sword is because it's a 798 item power, but it does have critical strike damage with bone, has vulnerable, intelligence, and critical strike damage. Actually, the critical strike damage on that's a max roll. That's pretty cool. But this was some random sword I found in Nightmare Dungeon, so I went with that. I've got Serration on there, just trying to max out that damage when I have higher resource. The amulet, it's really not that great. It's got 1 rank 2 evulsion. It adds a little bit of damage, which is cool. Um, that's actually a max roll too. Essence cost reduction and bone skill damage, and I've got grasping veins on here. Then going down a little further, these rings I really kicked around. I was struggling with finding decent rings, and these aren't all like great either. So critical strike damage, physical damage, um, critical strike chance, and then vulnerable on this one. And on here I have conceded because of temerities, because I generally have a barrier up as long as I keep popping potions, and that's helpful. So nobody else has used temerities. Basically, the nice little aspect on them is if you heal yourself with a potion or anything over 100%, it'll pop a potion for a percentage of your total health, your max health. Mine's an 80% roll, which that was really lucky to find. These are the old temerities. Apparently, they updated them and changed something. I think they changed all stats there um, to max health. I don't have those. These are the old ones. I just said I have them. I'll use them. Then back to the rings. The next ring actually has a deadline on it. Has damage to stunned enemies. Doesn't apply at all to Lilith. critical strike damage, vulnerable damage, and critical strike chance. And on here is my exposed flesh, not a max roll. It's 42 uh, essence when hitting a vulnerable enemy. Going back up to the hearts, this is also something I haven't seen anybody else use. It's really just basic. It's because what I had. Basically, this heart is the one where it gives critical strike damage, but it also reduces your non-critical strike damage. So it's a 74% critical strike damage, and then also reduces non-criticals by 36%. This is my Wrathful. This is a Barber. To get the kill again. Hopefully it goes well this time. This is it's a 2.9 second. It was a level 4, so it's 14% increased damage per second. I did try a 3.2 second, and that didn't seem to work. This 2.9 seemed to work better. Um, I believe that's because of vulnerable. It's coming from my Paragon board, but I'm not 100% sure. This one just seemed to work better. It's not even the. I think going lower would be better, but I'm not 100% sure. Anyway, so it's a 2.9 Barber, and then for the last one is another Vicious Heart. This is basically the automatic corpse explosion, corpse tendrils, which I have equipped down here on my bar, and I'll go over the skills in just a quick second. That was pretty much the laziest way I could go about it. I just kind of liked it, so I didn't have to worry. I ran this for so long, I'm not as efficient, doing it manually, which I probably should have done, but I didn't. I've seen a lot of people want to control their corpse tendril to max their damage because of grasping veins on my amulet here, but I just went with automatic, and it seems to work. Again, this is all real basic gear, and probably the laziest way you can do it because I left that on there. I'm sure there's a better card I could have used, but we'll see how it goes this time. No, that's basically the gear there. Everything, this is a Bone Spear Necro, so everything is sacrificed. When I eventually did get the kill, um, I've got Skirmisher sacrificed here for critical strike chance. Let's see what else here. On the mages here, got Shadow done. That's the max to get 15 more essence. I think that was helpful. And Golems is this one here. This is all pretty straightforward. This is for critical strike damage. I did, throughout that 9 hours of trying to kill Lilith, I did kind of flip back and forth between these two. The cold sacrifice helped with vulnerable damage or increased damage to vulnerable enemies. When I eventually got the kill, it came down to I just had a little more essence just so I could spam Bone Spear a little more, and that seemed to get it done. So that's that. We'll go over to the skill tree real quick. Through just kind of messing around. It is a pretty basic build, but I took off what I thought wasn't really helpful. Um, Starting off with Bone Splinters, just for if I am out of essence of just trying to get anything, I'll spam that, or I'll try to hit that a couple times throughout attacking with Bone Spear. I only went to here to the enhanced Bone Splitters option there. Um, didn't go anything further on that one. Coming down to the next one for core skills. For the passive, I've been perfectly balanced at 3 out of 3. On living at 3 out of 3. So increasing max essence, and then hopefully, well, not hopefully, but costing less on the core on the Bone Spear. Bone Spear, I put 5 into it, and I think it's my gloves that give 3, so I'm at 8 out of 5. Then going to enhanced Bone Spear, down to paranormal Bone Spear here. That did all seem to work. Blood Mist, actually, I never even really used this, but right at the end there, I tried branching up to these extra 2 points to get to make it so I could Blood Mist down to drop some corpses to maybe see if that would help. I never actually ended up using that now that I think about it, but that is there if you wanted to, so you could Blood Mist before you do anything, drop some bodies and corpses. You can start popping those to get yourself set up a little bit more with the Paragon stuff or for Corpse Tendril. But anyway, you can use those if you want. I never actually ended up using it. Uh, and then after that Corpse Explosion, just 1 point. Going over to Enhanced Corpse Explosion, and then the Blighted Corpse Explosion I put on there. I don't even remember why I put this there. I just did, just maybe thinking a little extra damage couldn't hurt, and actually did help in some cases, which was cool. A little further down, Grim Harvest went 3 out of 3, and that's just mixing with the automatic Corpse Explosion because of that heart. And each one that's done maxed it out. It's giving me 6 essence per corpse that was consumed, and then fueled by death, uh, a little more damage for 6 seconds after consuming corpses, and pretty much all that's automatic. Corpse tendril and corpse explosion. I don't even uh, I don't even manually hit. I just let the heart do its thing. Moving a little further down, pretty much shift this out. Used to have Decrepify here because I did have a heart that had Decrepify proccing right off the bat. I wasn't working, so I took that off. I completely removed those points. Took out Amplify damage. Don't have that anymore. Just going with Death's Reach for increased damage for distant enemies, and that's pretty obvious. You want to stay as far away as you can, and that's literally it there. Moving forward, I have 2 points into Corpse Tendrils. The only reason it's two is I had an extra point, so I put it there for possibly more damage. Didn't think it would do much, but that's where that's at. Enhance Corpse Tendrils, and then going out to Plague's Corpse Tendrils to proc vulnerable if an enemy is hit with it. Then going down, these are the three that I believe every Bone Spear Necro has. Yeah, Serration, uh, Compound Fracture, and Evulsion. I've all of these were 3 out of 3, and I have my amulet, which is a crap amulet, but it has one of these, and I figure for a little extra damage, for critical strike damage, can't hurt. Going a little further down to ultimate, yes, running Bone Storm for the increased critical strike chance, and then Prime Bone Storm to Supreme Bone Storm using Standalone and Memento Mori. Um, Again, pretty much standard for most Bone Skill builds, and then Ossified Essence. And then when it comes down to the Paragon board, this was taken from, I believe it was Rob's on D4 builds. I had a very similar setup that I kind of put together myself, but I changed that. One thing that I did notice, and the main reason I changed the board was I kind of went sequentially with the boards, um, not really realizing the impact of the fifth or your final board, watching the actual requirements for the bonus. Never really paid attention to that. Not thinking that the further up that board is, that the higher that requirement is going to be, which actually did kind of throw me off. It made a few of my rear nodes a little bit harder to actually activate and everything like that with the bonus requirements. So anyway, going down real quick, this is the starter board right off the bat. In the glyph I have here is for sacrificial. Um, pretty straightforward. I'm sure a lot of people have used it. Little extra damage, armor, dexterity, willpower, which is all great. And then you can see just kind of straight up activating these little sections just to get as much as possible. Branching back up from starter, this goes over to Bone Graft, which I do have activated, as you can kind of see, and just a couple of things around it for critical strike damage, um, critical strike chance, everything like that. And then coming up and over here, just a little portion here for critical strike damage, just trying to maximize everything I can, obviously trying to get the bonus requirements. Going up to the next glyph, Gravekeeper, and as you can see, bone skill damage, intelligence, we don't need the resistance because that doesn't do anything. Increased damage for every close corpse, which hopefully there aren't many because that heart's going to keep popping them. And you can kind of just get an idea of how that board lays out. Going on to the next board, this is Scent of Death. So, adding a little damage when no corpses around, and then a little damage reduction if they are, which again they're not because that heart will pop them all. You can kind of see the layout there. Just trying to maximize damage pretty much. I did actually avoid a couple different places where, especially over here, did avoid where I could have gotten some max life and everything like that. It was a risk that we took and it worked. This glyph here is Imbiber, and so damage while healthy. Now the thing with temerities that was kind of nice is you're popping potions almost all the time to keep your barrier on, and the barrier will get dropped pretty quick when you're getting hit from Lilith. So hopefully you'll be at 100% health almost all the time. And this also does with the bonus requirement help with potion healing. So that actually I thought worked perfect with temerities. That's why I went with it. Now from there went down. I first did this board, so the requirements again for these will be a little bit lower. So if you look here, the dexterity requirement is 430 for the extra damage to injured enemies. And if you go back to up to this next board, which is my last board, you can see the requirements jump up quite a bit. So it is important to make sure you activate certain boards in a certain way. So anyway, that was Imbiber. Going back down to here this one here. This is for Flesh Eater. Consuming 5 corpses grants 40% increased damage for 6 seconds. 40% is huge, and you're popping corpses all the time, so that should be pretty much always on. And the glyph here is Exploit. And this is obviously for vulnerable damage, and we want to hit as hard as we can, as fast as we can. In some cases, you don't want to go too fast, though, and I'll show you what I mean later with Lilith. There is a way you bug her and you cannot kill her, which, if there's a solution, I don't know it. But I found the proper way, I guess, to kill her. You just don't want to do it too fast in phase 2, and I'll show you. So anyway, Exploit, and then there's the board if you ever wanted to copy that. But again, this was, I believe, Rob's um, Lilith board for Bone Spear Necro on D4 builds. Pretty much copied that exactly because the way I was doing it wasn't working. So anyway, moving back up to the very last board here. Um, this was the Bloodbath board. We didn't bother with the legendary there. And the glyph here is Essence. So for our critical strike damage, I'm trying to get as much as we can. We get 39 dexterity in there, so it gives us 77.2. And if you want to take a look, that's the Paragon board there. So very basic stuff on that. I could tell you there's probably 10 things better I could do with the skill tree, but again, it's a very average, thrown together hodgepodge trying to make it work between skills and also the gear. So with all of that being said, we'll go ahead and just give this a shot. The only thing that I actually did use to help with this was the Elixir of Resourcefulness. That helped with 50 extra of the essence, and just used it so we can just slam the hell out of her as fast as possible, and try to move forward with the phases. So anyway, that's that. We're going to go ahead and pop the potion and try to get into this. We'll get a kill eventually, hopefully pretty quick, but we'll see. Again, this took me 9 hours yesterday, but now that I have a better idea of what's actually going on, hopefully this will go a little bit quicker. So a general idea of what we're going to do to get her knocked down. right off the bat, starting the battle, we're going to get in there. We're going to potion up to get our barrier on with temerity. We're going to activate the bone storm to try to get our highest critical strike chance possible, and I'll show you guys that in 1 second once I load in here. Um, and the more critical strikes, the better, more damage because we have that heart, and just overall critical strike damage is going to be pretty much the focus of the build. Before I actually do go further, let me let me actually get into the dungeon, and I'll show you where everything stands before anything else when it comes down to the overall percentages of damage and everything. So yeah, while we're waiting, yeah, the big things we'll get in there, pop a potion, get our barrier on because of temerities again, throw Bone Storm, and just slam the absolute hell out of her with Bone Spear. Um, no matter what I do, my Necro is not very fast. Can't evade well. Those attacks that Lilith has, her map abilities or whatever you want to call them, basically all a one shot. So I want to avoid those like the plague. I want to try to get her killed as fast as possible. This is probably going to take a couple tries because the first portion of this is a pain. Like I'd be surprised to see someone do it 1 try. That'd be really cool. You have to really know what you're doing or have your build right. And I definitely don't. That's not me at all. Very average, crap gear. Just, just gonna keep trying. So right now, as we sit, because we are out of the town, Attack power is at 19,677 before any of our additives from Paragon or anything else. Armor's at 6,682. Life's at 11,210. And then this is where, with all the items and everything, with crit strike chance and damage, vulnerable and everything like that. So sitting before anything else activated, 46.9 on critical strike chance. Critical strike damage at 590.9. Critical strike damage with bone is 132.2. Overpower is not really brought into the equation, but it's there, it's 195. And then vulnerable damage at 116.3. And so we're going to go ahead and give this a shot and see if we can knock her down. Yep, we got potion on. Okay. First phase, she's down. I'll kind of go over that in a quick second as to what we did. But that was a good first start. Now from here, the motions that we do are pretty important to actually get this done right. So we'll see what happens. We're going to pound her as hard as we can here. That first attack, I've noticed, has never really hurt me. We got her pretty good, so she flies up and away. Throw a couple more attacks, get up here as fast as possible. There we go down. I was a little slow there. You want to get up to that top right corner. At least that's worked last time. Top right corner. And hopefully it'll avoid those little heat-seeking bombs that hit you. Because those will one-shot. Pretty much everything she does will one-shot you. But not a bad first one. We got her for phase 1 taken out. Let's try this again. Same thing. I will say when she hits you there, that was not good. When she hits you there, you want to step in a little bit at least. Because, oh, see, this is not going to be a good run. Yeah, we might be in trouble on this one. Probably, actually. Definitely. Yep. We want her dead before that. Basically, if she's not at a sliver of life when she launches her first attack, because we can blood mist past her first attack. The second one, yeah, I have not found a real good way to get around. Oh, that's great. My armor's damaged. We got to kill her a little bit faster than we thought. Just gonna wait for this cooldown to finish. There we go. Got it. All right, nice. Phase 1 done. Now this time we're just going to try to get the line's right here. We're going to try to get up a little bit more, a little bit quicker. Damn. Yes, those little heat seekers, they're a pain in the ass. Yeah, this one's not going to go well for us. Yep. We got to get her done before that. Oh, there goes the armor. Let's go ahead and give that a repair. Yeah, with that second wave attack, and she sometimes will have three. Just you get lucky sometimes. You can avoid it. They're all one shot though. You got to be extremely fast. This Necro is not that fast.
What will it be? That there is worth the coin.
Taking no damage. Yep. Yep. That's probably because of that one heart. If those corpse tendrils were to go off a little earlier, they probably would take more damage, but you know, it is what it is. Literally spent 9 hours yesterday doing this exact same thing. So many attempts. Oh shit. Not good. She's way too close. Oh, yeah, probably the case scrub run. Best I can get her here. Nope. Okay. Get this bone storm to cool down a little bit. Shit. Barely got that off. Oh, she's still alive. Oh, no, she's not. Oh, she's still attacking. Run. Okay. Every once in a while, that'll happen. It's a little bug. She was dead. She landed and died, and then she still got an attack off. Whew, real close. Close, boys, close. Fortunately, that little heat seeker got me right before I could blood mist. Ooh, that was it too. That's okay. If you're gonna do Uber Lilith, expect to die a lot. Nice, there she goes. Okay. Now she's gonna rotate right to there. She's hurt. It's good. Try to get on this platform here. Okay, get off there. Go up to the top left. She's hurt pretty good, boys. Top left. She'll come in, land here. Cut off that. Jump over. Now she should come back to the center. Now, just for shits and gigs, I'm throwing the Bone Storm on. Gonna hit her a couple times. There she goes. Uber Lilith done. Let's go. All right. All it took. Phase two. If you get to phase two, trust me on that one push. You notice those little heat-seeking bombs. Those will absolutely mess you up. There is a way to hit her enough. She'll cut the thing, and then the whole lower portion goes on fire. What I was doing before is blood misting back, and those things will just chase you all over the place. If you saw that time, I tried to get up to that top right portion as fast as possible. She goes to cut. It didn't launch the little heat seekers, which was cool. I popped blood mist anyway, I think, but they weren't there. So I got back off before that part of the map fell off, top portion. Got back down, try to throw a couple more bone spears at her. She will fly to the center here. You can hit her once or twice there. You don't want to go too quick though, because it will throw things off. Then she goes top right. You get up there. You can hit her a couple times. Once this is not on fire anymore, you come back, and then you immediately go top left. And like I said, you can hit her once or twice, but try not to hit her too much. I got lucky that time. I ran out of essence completely, so I wasn't going to be able to hit her anyway. And then yeah, she cuts that portion off. You run back on here, make sure you're here. She'll go middle, and you just smack her, and then boom, there's Lilith with the Bone Spear Necro. Hell yeah! I wonder how long that actually took, but that was an okay run. That seemed to do the trick. All right, well, I think that's going to be it for now. Any questions? Feel free. I probably will turn this into a quick video or YouTube video. I'm not sure. Um, but I wanted to at least do it again, and hopefully this saves this time because that whole 9 hour stream I had from yesterday didn't save because I'm an idiot and I didn't know what I was doing. It was my first stream, so suck it. Cool. Well, thanks for coming in and watching. I appreciate it, guys. All right, take care. Oh, actually, you know what? Hang on a second. Before I even forget, I should show you guys what you actually do get, which I think is actually pretty cool. I totally forgot because that wasn't the first time it didn't proc and or proc didn't prompt and show your rewards. You do get some uh, rewards. You get a cool horse with the cool skin to it, which is pretty neat. You get some a title for your guy. Once I travel in here, I'll pull that up. Someone said, "Hey, dude," at one point. Uh, what's up? How long? 35 minutes. Okay. so what I think is the coolest, but here I'll go over this first. If this game will load. Okay. So you can see here, Lilith's Doom. That is, I believe, the two titles that you do get. There might be more. I don't remember. So I put that on there. And the horse that you get, there might be even other rewards. When I first killed her for the first time, I was kind of blacked out. My heart was pounding. I couldn't even read. I don't know what was going
Fathers.
on. So yeah, the bloody liquid steed. Here's the horse. Here, let me take off my armor for a second. There. So that's what she looks like. Pretty cool looking. For now, I'm just gonna throw on the butcher's cleaver and the butcher armor. Where the hell that went? Oh, fresh meaty barding. I think that looks pretty cool. So anyway, yeah, that's Uber Lilith, the Bone Spear Necro with shitty gear. So again, thanks for watching.